name is Pule Molebatsi. You are watching Stories Untold. A warm welcome to the show. Green living champions are individuals who go a step further than reducing their own environmental footprints. They are involved in helping to promote sustainability in their communities. Today, we introduce you to one such person, Dora Marema, founder of the Green Business College. Let's have a look.
Dora Marema hails from one of Limpopo's smallest villages. In a village where everything was organically grown, Dora saw a life of environmental sustainability as the only way to a better future.
I was born and bred in a small village of Kadichweni in the west of Mokopane in Limpopo. And my upbringing was really, I think, really fantastic because I had both my parents, my mom and my dad, while some of my friends had their parents as migrant laborers, meaning commuting between, Gauteng and Limpopo. We didn't have a lot, but that to me didn't really bother me a lot because we would always have food on the table. My parents were growing stuff, and my father later became a smallholder farmer, if you like.
As a young girl, her dreams were always vivid and education was at the forefront.
One of the things that I really dreamt about is, really being able to come back and change the face of my community. Obviously, by the time I matriculated, I was in high school. We had a mine that is just opened in my village. It started demolishing the mountain because the name Kadichweni is derived from the fact that we've got mountains where baboons lived. So the baboons were part of the community. And with the granite mine that I just started operating when I was in high school, they were all of a sudden, they destroyed the land, the farming land. We couldn't also walk. We had no high school in my village. So we had to walk for a good hour from my village to go to the next village for us to go to high school, and we used to travel safely in the bushes. I saw a lot of people really start to fall sick and to struggle, and even though the mine didn't really bring a lot of job opportunities to the community, continued to be poor because they couldn't farm in this way that they have always been able to do. So my dream was to be able to really earn a lot of money, to become someone important. At that time, I wanted to become a medical scientist because I thought, well, scientist meant you would earn a lot of money, medical, close to medicine, and doctors were up there with the lawyers and supposedly earning a lot, and that I would make more money and come back and actually contribute to my own immediate family, because I had a dad at the time who wasn't working for most of his life, and then started getting a job at a very older age, and really saw him make something out of himself. Yeah. So I had this passion of coming back and doing something with my community.
With her dreams in mind, Dora saw her dreams being realized faster in Johannesburg.
The drive for a better life got me working really hard at school. From primary to high school, I was one of those A kids. Even though I didn't have money to further my studies, when I finished, I spent a year. I had an amazing friend. Her name is Lillian Mashishi. So her family had a supermarket in the village, and she just really fell in love with me. We were going to the same church, but she was in a boarding school. So she came and persuaded my family. When she finished her matric from a boarding school, she went to study at University of the North, which is now University of Limpopo. And when she was in the third year, I was supposed to go to school, and I spent the whole year at home. So she came to my parents, tried to persuade them that Dora could be able to study at the university even though you don't have money. So there's a thing which then was called TEFSA. Now it's called NEFSAS. And she convinced my parents.
Confident not only as a village girl, but an informed academic with vast knowledge, Dora did not forsake her community.
Started thinking about my community, the granite mining. What is it that I can do? Started searching, and I found out that there are organizations based in Gauteng, Johannesburg, that could assist. Lo and behold, I saw an advert in my last year. I was doing only 2 courses then in my 4th year, that the advertising for information officer at this Black Search initiated project called the Transvaal Rural Action Committee. The main work was for me to collate databases of beneficiaries of whose land was taken away from them so they can resettled. And I applied. Lo and behold, they responded to me. It was a half-day position, and I came to Johannesburg. I came on a Sunday. Monday interviews, went back, I was given the job.
She soon discovered it wasn't the passion for a community back at home and all communities that she would be tasked with, but her passion was in working with people to save the environment.
And I started to embed myself. And then they helped me connect with Environmental Justice Network and the Legal Resources Center to now lodge a big case against the mining companies that were mining in my village. That's where I am really started to percolate.
Advocating for a better environment and understanding what it takes to build a green future, Dora had a task that would not allow her to sleep.
I always fly.
On Network, we lead Africa's tech conversation.
There's more disadvantages to controlling social media than there is good.
Social media is used as a powerful tool to get the message across.
We have the Internet of Things, wearable devices, and 5G technology.
We've started a rent renewal program. We in essence is raiding the infrastructure for 5G.
I wanted to get a drone license because I've always loved aviation.
Join me, Phumelele Zondi, every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. right here on Network with your technology and social media news.
This is where we take a look inside the world of media, analysing the trends, the issues and the reporting of some of the week's top stories.
One of the things that we are seeing across the globe, people are consuming news and living their lives with their mobile devices.
The evolution of journalism is to use the same skills, the same ethics, the same values, but to cater to different audiences because it's not the same people.
There is a lot of debate in this industry today whether the future is about digital paid content. Will there be a market for users to pay for digital content? And we see that in Africa it's a challenge.
People will go, pay for a newspaper, take it away. Why won't they pay for it online?
In the initial stages of shifting from print to online, we created the impression that what people were paying for was the paper. And so people are very reluctant to pay for the journalism, and good journalism is very expensive.
Watch Media Monitor Sundays at 9 a.m.
When police officer Stefano Fisafi was fatally stabbed to death, the community of Rosedale at Uppington has vowed to remove all drug dealers from their town.
We are against drugs. There's a war against drugs in the Northern Cape.
Community members also came to this house behind me. Police again tried to intervene, and in the process of rescuing the occupants, they found massive amounts of drugs.
If you sell drugs, please close shop, leave Uppington. That is the message that the community are sending today. Because you are killing the generation that needs to lead and take South Africa forward.
Welcome back to the show. Today we introduce you to an all-new way of living, going green. We follow the story of founder of the Green Business College, Dora Marema. She takes us through the process of going green and we find out what the Green Business College does. Let's have a look.
Dora Marema acknowledged her passion for social and economic empowerment back in 2014. Her wealth of experience in environmental sector in Africa has made her to be one of the leading ladies in the green space.
I joined them on this idea. The weekends we would explore parts of South Africa to look at what does sustainable development look like, how can we bring in renewable energy, water efficiency, rainwater harvesting in the inner city of Johannesburg to showcase this development that we talk about. So I joined them, and in 1999 I full-time joined the group that were to develop this idea. So I was part of the team that negotiated with the city of Johannesburg for a site to establish this dream that we had, negotiated with the Danish government to support us financially, traveled around the world with a team of architects who were students at Wits University and came back and actually gave birth to the Greenhouse Environmental Center in 1999, established fully in 2002 during the World Summit on Sustainable Development in Johannesburg.
The Green Business College is a space that gathers all aspiring entrepreneurs in one space to teach them on how to make a green change.
The Green Business College, like I say, is the culmination of all the work. So in 2011, I was invited, in 2010 during the World Cup, I was invited to be part of a coffee table booklet called Remarkable South Africans. And as part of that, I was interviewed by a lady called Lena.
The initiative of the Green Business College went far and beyond the inner city.
We went on a road trip in 2013 to have a conversation with girls and young women about the issues that are bothering them. So we went to Venda and we also went to my village in Leiden and Gaditshweni, where I grew up, to spend a week there with our girls from Johannesburg from our program, the first intake, to interact with the girls and spark this conversation. And we realized during that time that a lot of girls are not making it to tertiary. Some of them don't have they don't really like doing that. Others can't because of the marks and they're not qualifying. So it means they won't be able to have an opportunity to come through our seed program. And but however, they could use their hands, they could learn other skills to be able to have sustainable livelihoods. That's when the Green Business College was born.
Together with her partner in business, Dora received opportunities to further be empowered, so to pass on the bait.
In 2017, to take me and Christina to join one of their programs they were running with the University of Basel for us to study for a global social entrepreneurship course that would see us set up a social business that we wanted to set up in South Africa in the form of the Green Business College. So we were part of the program 2016-2017, and we set up a social business in Sri Lanka in a small community called Kekirawa, which was focusing on English language, IT, and because that's the focus of that area. Yeah. But then we got permission for us to set up the Green Business College. So we were supported by a Swiss company, Hilti, the power tool. So they have a foundation run by their staff.
That being set up and off to a good kickstart, students started enrolling. One of their first students was Guy Dumeti, who completed a formal degree but always had the love for the environment.
I'm a business graduate. I studied a business degree and also a diploma in supply chain. So that's my background even when it comes to work experience. I was in the procurement space for 4 years. And one day it just hit me to say, this is not me, because I'm a nature lover. I love sustainability. I'm always involved in these community projects where we're trying to improve the situations around townships and just with the world at large. So I think staying in the office and being there working on spreadsheets wasn't really what I was keen on. There was just no joy and fulfillment.
Guy Dumeti could not resist the social entrepreneurial urge.
I left my job, it's been a year now, and I've embarked on the entrepreneurship path. It's not easy, it's tricky, it has its ups and downs, but I think with passion and hard work and a clear vision, one can actually sustain the rough patch.
This is what she has taken away from the Green Business College.
I came here mostly just to observe what they were doing. I'd go with them to these mushroom trainings and see how people do things. So that's when I realized, you know what, I think I may be able to be a student here and do something. So what I did was just pure sustainability. I didn't really enroll in a specific course to say I want to grow spinach, I want to do mushrooms or food processing. So I was just more of an all-rounder, just trying to understand about sustainability and how one can actually impact the world in a positive way. And I mean, the benefits thereof were so much greater, seeing that I have a business background as well. Just putting the two together to say sustainability or agriculture or just going green and business can actually work together quite well.
Her business is entirely inspired by keeping bees and embracing all its uses.
What inspired Honey was the fact that bees are being extinct. And me being a nature lover and having studied a few environmental studies, immediately when I was alarmed that bees are extinct, I thought, what can one do? You know, I thought as a more relevant thing to do instead of doing the obvious things like planting vegetables, which is everyone is doing. What can I do to actually contribute more to sustainability and the greener space of things? My business is actually twofold. So I'm starting a bit of an apiary on my side where I'm just keeping my beehives, but as well I'm also trying to empower local communities to actually go into beekeeping and realize that they can earn income from it, because unemployment is on the rise, people are unemployed, not everyone has an ability to or an opportunity to go study, not everyone actually is academically smart, so I'm trying to bridge in those gaps just with the honey business. It's not just only honey, so we also do other honey products. So we're also promoting good health. We have lip balms that have honey. So from the beeswax that we get from the beehives, we actually try to incorporate that in our products. Beeswax is very good for skin. Honey is also very good for skin. So we're trying to give people better skin, better lips. We don't want people with cracked and ashy dry lips. So we try to eliminate such things at a cheaper rate.
The Green Business College saw an influx of nature lovers, including Kitumeti. This then caused a green movement, encouraging more and more South Africans to be friendlier to their environment.
We did a small survey in Joburg Park. We ran around and asked people and found out what would work. People wouldn't wait. They wanted something now.
We've got more children at bodies laying in the streets than we have adults, and that's the saddest part of it all.
Those people won't get the message that we really want to say enough is enough.
When I took 30K, I wanted to invest it in Forex. If you're using foreign exchange just to try and make money, you're essentially gambling.
If I had a recipe to constantly make money on every single trade, why would I want to sell that?
The same people who are producing the food, they go and sleep without food.
This guy signed, he produced the fraudulent, the pay slips. This is the ID copy he used. This is not me.
Special assignment, 9:30 on SABC News.
Finance Minister speaking last year was quite clear that he doesn't want a constant bailout of state-owned enterprises, including SAA. And then he also said there's no reason for SAA and we can get rid of it.
The one that people are talking about is the issue of privatization, but I don't think that privatization is within the horizon at the moment. But what I can say is the liberalization of the aviation industry may be on the horizon.
Talk to us about the share that the continent gets as compared to the rest of the world.
$1.85 trillion globally, 2.5% of that went into Africa in 2018. For us, the number one most critical issue in the energy industry of Africa is investment.
It's time for us to be real stewards of our resources.
At Health Talk, we don't just talk hardcore health issues. We also tell stories of those affected.
You have a kidney that you received from your sister. What does it mean to you?
I can't thank her enough.
We feature a panel of experts to educate and help us understand various conditions.
What is osteoporosis?
Yes, often it can be confused with arthritis, but osteoporosis is a separate condition. It's a condition that causes a weak bone.
Bring to light issues concerning public health.
Health in South Africa depends upon your pocket, which is very unfair because life is a basic necessity. We all have a right to live and to get proper health facilities.
Welcome back to Stories Untold. Today we learn from green living champions how we can all play a role in preserving the environment. Let's have a look.
Dora Marema can now synonymously be in the same sentence as globe fighter, land preserver, and society uplifter. Her quest to preserve nature and keep our environment as organic as possible can help avoid a lot of climate problems and economic mishaps.
We started looking at people who were working, they're so-called underemployed people, and meaning they are working but they're not earning enough. And we started talking to them, would you take your money that you earn and invest it into an extra skill that you could use to augment your income? So we also looked at that. That's where the 5 days 3-day business, 2-day skills. Sometimes like sophisticated things like beekeeping would take 2 weeks purely because of the intensity of the operation itself. So that's where we got the information.
Tim Abba from Orange Farm is Dora's acquaintance. Him and Dora have been on this mission of changing the face of our planet. We spoke to him on how he plans on doing this exactly.
Just to give you a context of why the nursery, I had a dream one day. I'm a dreamer. So one day I thought in the whole of South Africa there's no township, there's no nursery in a given township. Our nurseries are like in suburbs, Sandton, Rosebank, Parktown, Branston. For a farmer like in Orange Farm to travel to Sandton, you must hire a taxi. And when you buy there, you buy like lots of veggies. You can't put them in a taxi. Let's say you put in a taxi. The driver will shout to you because the soil is dropping, it's making the taxis dirty. So it's like too much for a farmer. I say, why don't I start something that will be a resource center to service the needs of the smallholder farmers from seeds, seedlings, herbs, flower, fruits, shade trees, and even tools. So that's why the idea came in. Then gradually I started engaging the farmers. What are your needs? Then they say, Tim, we need seeds, we need seedlings, we need fruits, we need herbs. Then I started. So it started from my idea. Where I started before, I used to use the Coca-Cola cold drink bottles. I recycled them, cut them into two, plant like apricot trees, pawpaw.
Tim didn't stop there. His highlight of doing what he loves is teaching young children.
I got a program whereby I got a curriculum for the grade R's. So I call it G2K, Garden to Kindergarten. That's where I teach the young kids, ages 3 to 6 years old. This is in a creche. By the way, in South Africa, no creche, no primary, high school teaches kids or students about agriculture as a subject. It's only a few, 3, 4, 5 selected universities in South Africa that teach agriculture subject. The old saying, you can't bend an old tree. How do you expect to teach someone who is over 19 years old about agriculture? Start a scratch. Are you surprised why we got 2 million people every day in our country going to bed on an empty stomach? So I say, no, Tim, man. You got the skills, you got the knowledge. Why don't start a program that is different to solve a problem in the community? Because most of them, they don't. I was asked to go and do a facilitation for Cummins in Alex. I was given grade 12s. I asked them, what is this? They can't tell. It's a tomato. They don't know tomato. They only meet a tomato in their plates or they sit in ShopRite. That was a tomato plant. Then I said, no. These are the people tomorrow who will be doctors, who will be responsible for my health. How do they tell me about healthy eating because they don't know what I'm supposed to be eating? Then I drafted a curriculum that covers the kids to incubate them, how to start their own, how can you grow your own fresh organic vegetable from seeds, seedlings, herbs, and before the food ends up in their table.
Both Tim and Dora are targeting the most important phase of our society. Without sustaining the environment, there is no life.
Myself, I believe in 3 things. You work with government, you work against government, and you work beyond government. You work government on issues that for development of the nation. You work against government on things like crime, or something like corruption and all those vices. But beyond that, go beyond your calling. Work beyond government. So for me, I don't have to complain. I'm not getting funding. I'm not getting this. I'm not getting. What am I doing to address the challenge that I'm being faced? I am winning big time because now I'm working with kids. I'm working with 101-year-old granny.
But like the story I'm telling to ignite that thing in them to take the first step, because we are the people. We have been waiting for the rest of our lives. If we do not become the change that we want to see, then we're going to die with this gift that each and every one of us has got. It's not in some of us, it's in all of us. And as you shine in your community, in your village, in your school, you give many others permission to do so.
With accurate surveys being done for the Green Business College, their courses run no more than 2 weeks. Winnie Mlotto found herself winning as she juggles her passion and profession.
It's part-time doing business, but I want to go full-time on my own business because I cannot keep on going on job and then do the 2 things. So I want to move out of the workplace and then come to my business. So I want to grow Tamoha farming one day.
Whilst Margaret's hair products saw the light of success when Dora gave her marketing tools.
It's been good. It's been good because our best performing, because we sell our stuff at a lot of markets, and our best performing market was accessed through the Green Business College. So it's a very good platform for people who are in the green economy space.
And their food processing course helped Mpo to expand with her indigenous fruits.
It's actually exciting. So what I do is I make products out of indigenous fruits. Fruits like marula, leroze, and the hibiscus flower. So I turn them into jams, juice, and jellies and chutney. And the response is it's quite exciting. It's very received well because it's something that is new. And even though to other people it's not that new, it's just that they never thought they could actually have that fruit in a different way other than the normal fruit that it is.
Dora Marema is a woman that continuously evokes the power of will. Through the willpower, we can all be the change we want to see. Stories Untold salutes you and the community of women and youngsters that you are raising.
When you grow up, you're going through the stuff, you're pushing against on odds. You do not know how many young people or how many girls or how many young men are looking up to you, and they stand there one day, they said, wow, that woman is the woman that inspired me, because I had no idea. I wasn't playing for an audience. I was just being the best I could be.
Absolutely phenomenal. We hope that today's show provided you with all the information you need to join the green living movement. Thank you so much for watching us today from myself and the rest of the team. Goodbye.